to the backyard garden. I did have quite a few mustards and turnip greens back in June, and the daffodils before that. So right now the tiger lilies are blooming. I like to make soup, so I'm trying some celery. I see celery root. It's very expensive, but it's good for making soup. This is something new that I'm trying this year. I have it throughout the garden. These are Brussels sprouts. So I think I have about 8 to 10 celery plants. Get them a shot at it. Flames, I had a few flames. I try to plant everything from seed. Uh, Sometimes I get quite a few free seeds. I try quite a bit of stuff. Tried this in a bucket. When the daffodils die, I just take a bucket and put over it. Over the daffodils when I cut them down. This is all dill. Dill makes everything smell sweet, especially in the afternoon. Fennel. I thought I was getting me some bub fennel, but I got herb fennel. It's growing pretty good. Nice green. Fennel and dill isn't a companion, but I'm alright. I'm not going to try to save seeds and reseed it. So I have about 8 of fennel. Some of them I have about 4 or 5 bub fennel. Amaranth, Zenus. This is from last year's seeds. My daughter and my son-in-law, he's from Uganda and he likes the amaranth. So you see in here you see quite a bit of still see celery. Some stuff I'm just putting out from the buckets. Something died, I just try to add some color. Here's a weed and the bleeding, weeping, or whatever you want to call it. Same thing here, have the red and the yellow mixed together. Stuff, as long as I keep it in the shade, it doesn't take as much water. But if I take it out and put it in the full sun, you see a difference in the growth. Plus this fence give it an afternoon shade. I carry beans around in my pocket, and when I run out of, when I see an empty space like these containers here, I just drop beans in it. I think it's probably pinto beans. 4 o'clock. You see these greens, these mustard greens you'll see throughout the garden. This is what I leave for seeds for next year. I take a big bag and break them and put them in there. The birds will eat part of them. I like to see the birds, they land in there and some kind of way. They open these seeds, they crack them open and they eat the seeds out of them. Seeds, mustard seeds, mustard green seeds. We're having a very dry here, so you see my black-eyed Susans and my sunflowers are suffering. Dill, canes are suffering. This is something I got from my wife, and she didn't want it, so I just take and put it right here in the bag. Verbatim, looking good. Mums. By the way, I'm carrying this around because I've been canning. I have about 10 quarts of beets I have already canned, and I have we have already harvested about 3 5-gallon pails of squash, crookneck, straight, yellow zucchini, gray zucchini, and the green zucchini. Shine it down here. like I say, when I be growing stuff from seed, I have more stuff than I can do anything with. So I have these containers. I put cabbage. These are cabbage and collards in these containers here. Groundhog got in and he mowed my carrots down. I like making carrot soup, so I strode carrot seeds throughout my garden. The groundhog got in here, and what I have now is some Swiss chard. I do the same thing. When you get free seeds, you just throw them out, and then you just yank the seeds up, leave what you want. And this year I'm kind of suffering. That groundhog hit me pretty hard. Groundhog. Also, here's some tomatoes. Tomatoes in the bucket. I don't know what type they are. These was weeds. They was coming back. Anything out of place is a weed. So I'll let them stay. All of these right here is weeds. I gave them an Epsom salt bath so that they won't have no blossoming rots or tomato rots, the blossoms falling off and so forth. So in here you see this is all the way back. I have about 10 hills of zucchini and squash. I can see them in there now. Like I said, we took out about 15 gallons of squash. Oh, watch yourself. I don't want you to get hurt. Tomatoes. All of my tomatoes is from seed. When I try to save seeds 2 or 3 years, some of them doesn't come back, doesn't come up. So I put this, I don't know what your framework around here. This is acacia wood that I pick up from side the road. Treated it, and it should last forever. And so I have about 7 or 8 different types of tomatoes. And along with the tomatoes, I put some pole beans, half runners, brother, and they'll run up here. So I have beans and tomatoes. Last year, I have been only growing 1 tomato in a container, shining at the container, self-watering container. But I seen somebody else and they grew 2. So this year I'm trying 2 tomatoes in each container, and I have tomatoes. Can you shine it in this? I have tomatoes everywhere. All on the top. I did do the Epsom salt and so forth and so on. Somebody gave me this tamale, and some things is bigger than a plum now. The tamale is in here. Along the back, I got to tie that up. I got these old bushes, bushes from out the pond down there, and stuck them in here, and I put pole beans and tomatoes. Tomatoes in the front. You can see the tomatoes. I think I got purple, pink, yellow, orange, green, and red tomatoes. Takes a lot of water, but it's kind of, the shade kind of helps me out a little bit. Also I have mulched my tomatoes. It cut down on the watering, but yet it uses about 2 gallons of, about a gallon of water a day. So I have to water them every 2 days right now. And they are fruiting, so you can see walk along the back side. Same thing over here. Same thing over here. I'm trying black-eyed Susans, black-eyed beans, peas, black-eyed peas. They're growing up pretty good. And I don't know what types of tomatoes. I did buy 6 tomatoes because I like making sauce. And so I have 6 sauce tomato plants. Look like I have more because some probably is coming back from last year. These I have quite a few heirloom tomatoes. They look like, boy, they look messed up, but they are good. It's no problem. That's the way they look. All the way down. They're growing to the top. The beans that come down below, I would save them. I would can them as green beans, and then the ones that get a little hard to reach, I would use them. We'll can them as shell beans, and if it go beyond there, when I get ready to pull everything up, I'll use those as dry beans. Last year was the first time we ran out of beans in the house. So they have tomatoes everywhere. Same thing, come around. Again. Like I say, I carry beans in my pocket when I see something that is nothing is growing. So, and last year I did this. As long as I keep these water, they will produce a nice bush of beans. A nice